Shauna Ali is doubling down on his surprising desire to train in Dagestan in a recent interview with Daniel Cormier, who just so happens to be a longtime teammate of Khabib Nurmagomedov, and Islam Makhachev Suga admitted that he'd love to get a few sessions in with Team Khabib. He believes even just a little time training there would elevate his game massively, but Sean also knows the odds of that actually happening are slim. After all, one of his current rivals, Humar Nurmagomedov, trains with that camp, and that alone makes it complicated beyond that. Khabib's gym has a reputation for strict cultural guidelines. One infamous example was when a Dagestani fighter got punished at the gym just for having long hair. Share a bullet. Another high-level fighter even had to refuse training there because they asked him to cut his hair. So yeah, Shogara, rocking his signature style, probably isn't making it through the doors still. The idea isn't totally unheard of. John Jones once trained in Dagestan himself, showing that elite fighters do recognize the value of learning from that system. 4. Now Ali's climbed.
I also saw a clip the other day saying that you'd like to go wrestle with Khabib and those guys. Like, that is, would you really want to go? Those guys are nuts, man.
No, I mean, it would be cool to be in the same room, train with them, you know, be a part of their session someday. Like, that'd be cool. I'm not trying to fucking go.
Because at the end of the day, you still are mixed martial artists that want to just get better and can recognize if there's an opportunity to, right?
Yeah, I mean, Khabib's an absolute legend. It would just be, you know, how many tricks and little tips and stuff you could learn from them in one session. Like, it'd be cool to do. Probably will never do it.
Not going to Dagestan. You're like, I ain't going to Dagestan.
I'm welcome there, but I mean, yeah, no, they're legends over there, and what they got going on is cool, and yeah, it'd be cool. I'm prepared for a 25-minute war. Like, I would not be surprised if I get my hand raised and knew first round KO, second round KO. I know I can put his lights out. I know I can. He's sloppy. He's mastered his style. He's really good at it, but it takes one mistake. And Aljo made that one mistake in the second round.
Jamal Hill is locked in, ahead of his upcoming clash with Khalil Rountree, and sees it as his ticket back into the title picture. This isn't just another fight with the UFC touching down in Azerbaijan. The entire Caucasus will be tuned in. Hill also shared a past interaction with Rountree at the gym, hinting that there's a bit of history between them. And now it's time to settle it in the octagon. But this fight is just the beginning of what Hill hopes will be a redemption run. He's got unfinished business with the top dogs in the division. The former champ is itching to avenge his losses to Alex Pereira and Yuri Prohaza, and ultimately get his shot at the current champ Div Pereira. And Ankal are reportedly set to rematch in the coming months, but the road to that fight has been strange. Rumors, delays, and unclear timelines have surrounded the matchup for Hill. That uncertainty is fuel. He knows that a dominant win over Rountree not only puts his name back in the mix, but also gives him the momentum to crash the party when things at the top finally shake out. However, sweet dreams might have to stand in line, as there's another man who's itching for a title fight. Yuri Prohaska. He was reportedly offered a shot at the champ, but had to turn it down due to his university exam.
I got respect for him as a competitor. So I want to. There's definitely somebody that I want to go in and I want to compete against. And some of the shit that comes from his social media, online and things like that is just like, bro, shut your dumb ass up.
Alex, Yuri, Magomed, rank those 3 opponents. Which one you would like the most? Which one you would like the least in the future?
I want them all. I want them all equally. Pause. Gotta put the pause on that, but yeah, I got smoke for each one of them equally. As far as personally, like I said, like even with the whole thing with Khalil, like the interaction with Khalil, I mean, I don't know him. We haven't talked, we haven't spoken, we haven't had, you know what I'm saying? So, and anytime I've seen him like at the PI or anything like that, he's never said anything to me. He's never done nothing. So I believe it puts me right back on track in the title shot conversation. With some weird things going on at the top. Pereira's making adjustments to his game to try to make sure that he can deal with Ankalaev.
Russian MMA fighter Ivan Sturkov, a teammate of Khamzat Chimaev, has stirred the pot with his recent comments about Khamzat's scheduled clash with Dricus Du Plessis. When asked about the fight, Sturkov didn't offer much optimism. Instead, he hinted at serious doubts about whether Khamzat will even make it to the cage. He questioned not just the outcome, but whether the undefeated Chechen will come out healthy, or perhaps even pull out entirely. These remarks, especially coming from someone so close to Khamzat, quickly spread across Russian MMA media and sparked a wave of speculation that Boers might be out of the title fight a few days earlier. Khamzat's other teammate, UFC lightweight contender Armen Zaraken, also commented on Chechen's performance. Dips, he explained that Khamzat's tendency to slow down in fights isn't due to poor cardio, but rather poor preparation. Most notably, brutal weight cuts that leave him drained. Armen's tone seemed more analytical, But Sturkov's comments painted a far more concerning picture. This past year has been a roller coaster. For Khamzat's health fans will remember how he had to pull out of the Robert Whittaker fight due to being poisoned during training camp, a bizarre and frightening chapter, and now just when it looked like things were finally lining up for him to compete for gold, clouds of uncertainty are forming once again. Nothing is official yet, but with Khamzat's team casting shadows on his readiness, it's fair to say there's real concern surrounding his status for the DDP fight. Let's dive into the interview. Honestly, I don't think Khamzat will be able to handle DDP as easily as he did Usman and Whittaker. We saw with both of those guys how even a small difference in size and strength can make a big impact. Kamaru had enough physicality to keep him in check, but DDP is a different challenge. He's not an easy guy to take down or control. He knows how to manage the cage wrestle, well defend solidly, and he's physically very strong with excellent cardio. He's a freaking tank. That said, with the way Khamzat's been cutting weight and how he's looked in training lately, there are definitely some questions about how ready he really is. Sometimes these things aren't obvious, but they do add up. So, yeah, I'm curious what kind of shape he'll be in, if he even makes it to the cage if Khamzat were to actually pull out of the fight. Nassourdine Imavov has already been confirmed as the official backup and is ready to step in. The UFC has officially lined him up as the backup fighter for UFC 319. Charlie Sonnen just revealed a jaw-dropping update that could finally push the John Jones versus Tom Aspinall fight over the finish line. According to Charlie, Jones has been offered a guaranteed $12 million to take the fight, and the UFC reportedly had no issue agreeing to the number. That's not just a big payday, that's historic. Sonnen claims this would make Jones the highest paid fighter in UFC history, surpassing the likes of Brock Lesnar and Ronda Rousey. If this deal goes through, Jones's check would eclipse them all. Sonnen was adamant that Jones hasn't rejected the fight, despite all the rumors and frustrations surrounding the delay. In fact, he thinks everything is pointing toward the fight happening, this massive payday being the latest and strongest hint. While Jones has been vague publicly, this kind of offer makes it hard to believe he'll walk away from the fight now, assuming of course that Chaos Sonnen's sources can be trusted. It's not just a career-defining fight in terms of legacy against Aspinall, it's also financially life-changing. If there were ever a time for the UFC to go all in on a super fight, this is it.